William Brown took his stupidly simple YouTube personal brand from $0 to $9 million revenue in just 2.5 years, completely from scratch.
So right now we're doing about 600k a month.
But then overnight it was erased from the internet, taken out from underneath him seemingly at random. But what's the hidden content strategy William has used to build his YouTube personal brand so fast in the first place?
600k a month, a profit margin 82%.
Yep.
That's unheard of.
And what are the subtle psychological tricks that I've ranked from persuasive to psychological weapons of influence that he uses to transform casual viewers into buyers ready to pay him thousands of dollars? Well, I've spent the last 17 hours investigating to reveal all of that to you, so you can build or pivot your own wildly profitable personal brand without the guesswork, without unexpected platform bans, and without having to become famous or chase virality. Now, off the back of selling his previous info company for multiple seven figures, William had decided to make a few simple YouTube videos, pick up a few high-ticket consulting clients, and chill. But after 2 videos picking up traction, he realized he discovered a goldmine.
I think it was 70k in December, 364 in Jan.
One that didn't need the nightmare of a massive team, complicated systems, or eat up all of his mental energy like his previous business had. And jumping into our funnel here, we can see William has mostly focused on YouTube, alongside having a copywriter for his LinkedIn and also running cold ads, some of which interestingly are just his YouTube videos. But here's where it gets interesting. If we dig a little deeper into William's video packaging, his titles and thumbnails, we'll find the first weapon of influence used. Now, he keeps his thumbnails very intentionally simple, leading all the attention onto the titles, which are essentially promises to his target audience of high value information, condensed and simplified down for them. Think of each video's packaging as a mini version of Alex Hormozzi's offer framework, selling the offer of clicking the video to the potential viewer. Each video is promising a dream outcome, which is amplified by the perceived likelihood of achievement. It seems simple and achievable, whilst minimizing the perceived time, effort, and sacrifice needed for you to get there. But this leads me on to the next weapon of influence that William uses. His brand framing is engineered to subtly give him instant authority. The Dubai skyline, the gold watch, the plaques in the background. No one questions whether the guy in a Dubai high-rise can make money. And no matter what level you're at, if you're not doing this with your personal brand, you're leaving money on the table. This undeniable framing, context, and proof surrounding his personal brand, the context around what he's saying, gives him allowances to make his filming, editing, website, everything else more simplistic. Because William's audience of high-level people simply would not respond to over-the-top lifestyle flexing. Because generally speaking, that's a way to attract a lower value audience, and the art is in the subtlety. And a lot of these subtle status cues and the casual positioning of William's videos boil down to our next weapon of influence used, which is kind of like the trust renaissance for the current trust recession we're in, where viewers and customers are naturally skeptical. And funnily enough, it's the coffee cup that he's holding, or what it represents, because it taps into the FaceTime effect. William's videos are intentionally casual and seemingly off the cuff. This makes you, the viewer, feel more connected to William, almost like you're on a FaceTime call with a friend who's just helping you out.
Everyone was making these fancy YouTube videos, everyone was editing and all this crazy shit. And I was like, I'm just going to talk.
The most successful personal brands that I've met, worked alongside, and studied on my journey have all built an unignorable, attractive character. And building this unignorable, attractive character that feels authentic to you comes down to this one cheat code. Think self-improvement YouTuber in a lazy dressing gown. Think millionaire sharing business secrets, chilling with a coffee in a casual video. Think making videos for a multi-million-dollar business, but with no edits, no thumbnails, the same white shirt on.
So I just looked at everything everyone was doing and just tried to do the exact opposite of everything.
The cheat code is juxtaposition, contrasting two extremes. And this automatically creates a gap in the viewer's mind that makes the character naturally more intriguing. And dare I say it, a video teaching content creation and personal branding shot on an old camera. That's juxtaposition. But diving back into our funnel, this funnel's strength and vulnerability here is that each video acts as its own sales letter. Each video is giving away lots of value and ultimately rewiring the audience's beliefs around William's model, his solution, and his offer, whereas most creators, like Dan Coe for example, will mostly do this further down their funnel in their owned media. It could be a blog, could be an email list, and so on. It's owned by them and no one can take it away. Besides William's book, How to 10 Million, most of the conversion from cold viewers to hot buyers I've seen happens right up here at the top of the funnel on YouTube, which leaves vulnerabilities in getting wrongfully banned or falling victim to a changing algorithm, for example. Now, the good news is this can be countered by building a content repurposing system to repurpose existing content already created from YouTube, for example, into blog posts, X posts, more LinkedIn posts, even short form clips. And by doing so, you can create a network of different attention assets and diversify the top of funnel a bit more. I do understand, however, that William had been doing this more and more with paid ads. Now, it's all good putting high performance content out there, sprinkling in these weapons of influence, but this alone won't convert even the best of viewers into buyers. And that's exactly what I'm going to reveal in the middle and bottom of William's funnel. Now, quickly before that, if you want to steal the strategies that top personal brands use to grow and monetize their audience, I reverse engineer them and stick them onto my website, Personal Brand Builders. It's based on my experience meeting, studying, and working alongside some of the most influential personal brands on the planet, and then growing my own micro personal brand with all the benefits and none of the drawbacks from 0 to 10k a month in just 90 days. Knowing these fundamentals, strategies, and techniques could change everything for you. And if you miss it, your competitors won't. It's the second link in the description to join for free. So a viewer discovers William from one of his videos, is bought into William's ideas, methodology, and authority. But now what? How does he then take these simple videos and squeeze $600,000 per month or more from them? Firstly, we have William's book. Now, whilst you might think this is a slower conversion mechanism, you'd be right. It is actually a proven way to warm up your audience and even add in call to actions throughout. Just like we've seen with Hormozy and Russell Brunson, who've built $100 million empires off the back of using a physical book to convert their audience. And this brings me on to our next weapon of influence. Once William has given you hours of free value across YouTube videos and his book, you're psychologically more inclined and intrigued to return the favor and pay to learn more from him. This is called the law of reciprocity. But more importantly, further down the funnel, we have William's website, Unscalable Consulting, named after the business model William helps people with, which seems to be aimed more at cold traffic through ads, and also buildgrowandexit.com. And this is where William does something super interesting. Firstly, it goes without saying, William's landing page exactly matches his brand. Simplistic, straight to the point, just a simple Google Docs screen recording. Coffee in hand, outlining what he can help with and proof that he can help with it. But there's two interesting trapdoors here to filter out bad quality leads and bad customers. The first of these trapdoors is the friction of intentionally leaving out his personal story and putting it on a different site. Maybe this is just a better way for him to present it, but ultimately this means that he's not wasting the time of his audience who already know who he is. And any people that don't already know who he is and would make bad leads are redirected elsewhere to get to know. Another one of these trapdoors is introducing the friction of boredom. William said he purposefully makes long video sales letters, or VSLs, to filter out low quality, low interest, time-wasting leads. The people that are actually serious will watch the full video and won't get bored. They can then be screened for their details, current problems and bottlenecks, how interested they actually are, monthly income, and so on, to give William's team of sales closers some context and filter out any bad leads. Now, this is where we move on to the most important part of William's operation. The part that, if it isn't nailed, the entire process falls apart. Here's the exact strategy that has brought in millions of dollars for William's business with just a small team of a handful of sales closers. So William has a few offers from what I can tell.
Our group program is £4,000 a month.
Okay.
And the one-to-one is £8,000 a month.
But if we dig a little deeper here, the way that William's sales team close these deals of thousands to tens of thousands of dollars is using this weirdly effective sales call framework that I found in William's book. The sales script essentially gets the lead to identify their own problem, qualify themselves, picture what their life or business will be like on the other side of fixing that problem. The sales closer then asks for permission to pitch and actually verbally asks 1 through 10 how good of a fit this sounds for them, before, if it's a 9 or a 10, giving the price, sharing the next steps, and onboarding. Now, this process is engineered to cover all potential objections, focusing on the problems that the offer solves and guiding the lead towards the sale. Now, my main takeaway from digging into William Brown's personal brand is that personal branding follows what I call the straight 7 system. Being a 7 across the board in all these facets of personal branding is the sweet spot. If you're a 10 in one, it buys you room to be more simplistic in others. And if you nail all of these points, it's only a matter of time before something clicks and it all works out. But even now you've got the strategy, you'll burn out with your personal brand if you're forced to act like someone you're not. If you don't yet have the experience and authority that William Brown does and want to develop your own weapons of influence no matter your level, check out my video here on Dan Coe, and thank you for watching.